Hey, welcome back to the Courageous Nerd channel for another interview. I'm Connor and joining me is actor Chido Nwokocha. Chido plays Gary in Tyler Perry's series Sistas on BET. Aside from his work on that show, Chido has also appeared in series including Hawaii Five-O, The Night Shift, Shooter, and Murder in the First. If you enjoy this interview or any of the others on the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. Great. So welcome and thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
Great. And we were kind of talking about this a bit before we did the recording, but how have you been finding, I guess, life professionally as an actor in the pandemic?
It's definitely different. Again, obviously, a lot of the protocols and safety protocols in place. There's not a lot of I would say day-to-day activities that or just errands you can just go do or just go see because you have to definitely be safe. You want to be quarantined, and you're definitely cautious of what areas you're going around, and not trying to be in too public spaces too much, or getting your things in and out, and just
Mm,
practicing the safety protocols. But it's definitely different. Like even now, like on your days off of working, you may want to go do some sightseeing or something like that. But you kind of got to just be cautious and be like, okay, where am I going? I don't want to, it's very serious. I don't want to put other people in danger. And so I try to limit everything as possible to just basic necessities, whether it's, grabbing some food and to go, obviously to eat, or, getting a workout and being, minding, social distancing as well. And then finding other things to do that, I can be by myself, whether it's in the hotel reading or, watching TV, catching up on my TV shows. So just,
mm.
that's definitely been a different challenge.
Right. And you're currently playing the role of Gary on Sisters, created,
Mm-hmm.
written, and directed by Tyler Perry. And how was the process of landing the part?
Oh, it was a crazy process. I actually went out for one of his other shows, and it didn't work out. And I
Mm,
remember just coming home, and a little bit of time passed, and then I started this new job, this new bartending job. And
mm,
that very day I started, I get a call from my managers that they wanted to bring me out. They wanted to see me for the show Sisters. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I thought I was just going to audition here in LA. And they're like, oh, no, we're going to fly you out. And I was like, okay, fine. Awesome. When am I flying out? They're like, tomorrow. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I just started this new job. So, in that little process as an actor, you're chasing your dream, but you're trying to, support yourself at the same time so you could stay out here to chase that dream, if that makes sense.
mm,
So, you just kind of take that leap of faith and you're like, okay, obviously this is, what I'm trying to do. So I remember I flew out to Atlanta. Um, read for tested for the role, and a week later I lost my job, lost that bartending job. But
oh,
yeah. So I came back and I was like, oh dang, all right, we're gonna have to figure this out. And then like yeah, that following week, that Friday, I get a call role, and obviously I was super excited and called my peoples and my friends and family and just let them know, and it worked out in the long run. But that was a definitely an interesting week and what is it, like, yeah, week and a half for sure.
mm. And although Sisters, I would say anyway, is kind of like a comedy drama, do you have a preferred genre to work in?
Yeah, our shows definitely has some comedic elements to it. I definitely enjoy dramas.
Mm,
I enjoy more. Yeah, I just gravitate more drama. I think I just thought about all the shows that I generally do watch, and I think I have a few comedies in there just to sprinkle in,
mm.
but I definitely gravitate to dramas, mysteries, things that have to make me follow along to find out what's going to happen in the end.
Do you have a favorite right now that you're watching, kind of that vein?
Well, right now I'm currently watching Lovecraft Country. So
Right.
I'm really enjoying that right now. So I'm actually going to catch up on that episode before I go back to work.
Mm,
But yeah, it's I'm catching up on Lovecraft. I loved How to Get Away with Murder. That was one of my nice little mystery shows that I enjoyed watching. So
absolutely, yeah.
yeah, that was it. So now it's just, after that, after I finished up Lovecraft, it's on to finding another show. I think during this pandemic, I've watched so much. I've caught up on things that I haven't watched before, and it's like, oh no, I hope I'm not hitting that point where I'm running out of things to watch.
Mm. And I guess initially, who or what inspired you personally to become an actor?
To be honest, I mean, there's definitely figures that I've watched. You see Will Smith, you see the Denzels. I follow
Mm.
like Idris, um, but it was always a self-fulfilling. I watched them and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. But I've just taken bits and pieces from a lot of people, and it just really was a desire that was burning from within to just, you know, get up, perform, and tell stories. And I enjoy following guys that are around my demographic. The John Boyegas, the late great Chadwick Boseman, and
Sure.
Michael B. Jordan, and Mahershala Ali. Mahershala, watching them do their work is incredible. So they're around my demographic, and you're just watching those guys, and you're like, okay, I can do this. I got work to do, but this is something that's possible, and I can do it.
Right. And you mentioned obviously earlier having that bartending job because obviously acting can be a precarious and not always reliable profession to go into. Was there anything else you ever wanted to do career-wise?
I mean, before that, I was a ball player. I wanted to play football. My dream was to play in
Right.
the National Football League. I was one of those guys that was very clear very early on what I wanted to do with my life. And in that beginning phase, I wanted to be I was a ball player. That was my identity. It's kind of what got me going. I love working out. I love competing, pushing my body to the max. And, I wanted to get to the highest level of football. And, I was fortunate enough to play collegiately and, pursue other professional football leagues. And my career was when it didn't, got cut short, just the injuries and just not, making it.
Right.
I was like, okay, it's time to move on. How long do I want to keep chasing it? And so some others they keep going, and for myself, I just said, I was, it's time. I've exacerbated all opportunities, and I think it's time to just move on to this next chapter. And I just enrolled in some classes and started that process.
Right. And you mentioned auditioning for another Tyler Perry series, but as in terms of Sisters itself, did you audition for any other role besides Gary?
No, I went out. I went out for Gary. Um, so they when I went out for the other show, they I guess they brought it to my team's attention that Chido would be a great fit for another role on the show, and they obviously it was Gary, and I read for it,
Mm.
and it worked out. So I'm glad that they had an eye. When door closed, another door opens. I'm glad they had an eye for me for something else.
Yeah, and you've been a guest star on a few series like Shooter, Murder in the First, and there's lot of other ones. But how different do you think being a series regular is compared to being a guest star, and how have those kind of guest star experiences shaped where you're at today?
Oh, I mean, I just guest stars are just. I mean, I just think very pivotal, and I mean, especially as just an actor, going in your career, you get something like that to one push the story along, and two just have a pivotal part in the story on a show.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it just let me know when I just booked my first few, I was like, okay, I can really take that next step and be a series regular on the show. And I just think more so the difference is you get to sit in a character for a long time, and obviously they're seeing you more on the show, but you get to sit with a character and develop a longer storylines along the way. Obviously, different guest stars range with one-offs or maybe multiple
Sure.
episodes, or maybe eventually it'll roll into a series regular. But series regular is a major accomplishment, something that is what you're really striving for as you're starting out, especially in television.
Right, and your character Gary, despite being married, has a relationship with KJ Smith's character Andy. And as the actor playing the role, how would you defend or not defend Gary over that choice?
You're not going to get me to defend him.
Right.
No, Gary's a very complex character, and
Mm.
it's one that I really gravitated to because he's so far from me, and You just get to, as an actor, you get to enjoy playing someone who, the audience really can't figure out, and it just gives you more room to play and do different things. The audience on edge about, how they feel about them, and if you can get the audience to feel, I think you're doing something. So there's sometimes, well, most of the times where he's not really a favorite, and there's other times where you're sitting there saying, well, maybe this guy's telling the truth, and I think I like him, or well, I don't know how I feel, and I think that's a fun place to keep the audience, and it's a fun thing for the actor to bring to the table.
Right, and you've also worked in video games or on a video game, and how different would you say that experience is to film or TV?
That was extremely different. You're just getting to work on some video games, or just kind of getting geared up and putting those headpieces on, and
Mm,
everything, the most mocap and all that. It's definitely different. God, I don't really know how to explain it, but it was a great learning tool. Just kind of how they translate what you're doing onto digitally, or on the video game mocap side of it. But it's different. It's a different form. I almost felt like it was a different form of acting. It was just very different trying to translate and do that stuff. But it's something I'm looking forward to do again. Just getting behind doing that, and getting behind, maybe doing some voiceover work as well would be a lot of fun.
sure. And I guess aside from Sisters, is there anything else you have coming up that you might want to mention?
Right now, I have a guest spot on The Resident on
Mm,
Fox, which I'm excited about, and Top Gun coming out, a role in Top Gun. So whenever that's coming out, I know it got pushed back. I think it's to December, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't checked, but when it does come out, I have that. So that's what I have coming up, and then also our show just premiered last week. Amazing ratings, high views. I mean, people were tuned in. So that's what we have coming up for these next few weeks. You can tune in and find me on Wednesday nights, System BT at 9/8 Central.
right, and this is the last question I've got. And since the pandemic started, I've asked everyone a version of this question. But if you could
Mhm.
offer advice to fans of you or your work during the pandemic, what do you think it would be?
It's crazy. It's a crazy time because all of us are dealing with a multitude of different things, whether it's finances, family, just peace of mind, most importantly.
Mm,
And I think for myself, it was definitely adjustment because my industry got hit as well, and you're not really knowing what's going to happen, or when you're going back to work or anything like that. So I just had, I had to have a lot of faith. I had a lot of exercise, a form of patience, and just optimism, just hoping that everything's going to work out. But in that time, I just try to keep myself busy, taking care of myself physically, working on my mental, and just trusting that everything's going to work out for the better in the long run.